Hello everyone, this is Seema Jhalani from KYMS Academy and I hope you people are practicing well and moving one step closer to your dream exam, that is CAT. Now in VARC there are 24 questions, 16 of which are on RC and 18 are on verbal ability. 16 questions of RC, it means 4 passages will be there, and for each passage there will be 4 questions, right? And in VARC, the bifurcation goes this way. Out of 8 questions, 3 are on para summary, 3 para jumbles, and 2 para completion, though this bifurcation might change also, right? Now, after reading 2 passages, I won't advise you to go for the third passage immediately. The reason is, at times it happens that reading and reading and reading, it creates a lot of boredom. So in order to break that boredom, you can always switch to the verbal ability part. क्योंकि वो पैराग्राफ्स थोड़े से शॉर्ट होते हैं एंड दे आर आल्सो इजी टू सॉल्व. All you need to have a right kind of strategy and right kind of techniques. All right, so today in this session we are going to discuss para summary questions with the techniques to solve them. Such an inspiring quote by Sam Levinson: don't watch the clock, do what it does, keep going. What does it mean? It means as the clock, it keeps moving, it doesn't rush, it doesn't complain. So you people should also not complain that my time is lost or maybe I'm not able to do it. Still you have a lot of time. Just keep practicing and slowly and gradually just move towards your dream exam, that is CAT. And together we make it happen. Now, let's take a glance at PYQs of para summary. In 2021, there were 3 questions and the level of difficulty was moderate. In 2022, 3 questions, easy to moderate. 2023, 2 questions, easy to moderate. And 2024, 3 questions, easy to difficult. One was easy, second one was moderate, and third one was difficult. So on an average, we can say that the para summary questions, they have been easy to moderate. Difficult was only one, right? So I think this is something that we can easily ace, and that too in less time. बेटा आपको आपका ध्यान ये देना है कि like when you go for verbal ability part, so again I would suggest you not to spend more than 1.5 hour minute. Not to spend more than 1.5 minute in one particular question. Now, let us go for the techniques to solve para summary question. So first is identify the main idea. Identifying the main idea is something that you have to go for in all types of question, whether it is RC or para summary or para jumbles, whatsoever, right? Now, what do you understand by main idea? Main idea means you have to locate the subject and the message and the purpose of the author in writing this particular paragraph. For this, you need to read the paragraph carefully and identify the central theme. Do not read the entire things. You just have to attack like a wolf. It means you just have to go for the indicators, keywords in order to reach to the right answer. Next is eliminate extra information. This is one of the POE techniques, right? What is eliminate extra information? Suppose if there is a paragraph that talks about types of pollution, only the types of pollution, right? And in the answer choice, they have mentioned the types of pollution with the definition of pollution. So I hope you can understand, when definition of pollution is not given in the paragraph, I cannot take any option which has the definition of pollution. And that is what we call extra information, right? So avoid unnecessary details like specific data, names, or minor points. A summary should not include supporting arguments or illustrations. Illustrations means examples. If in any paragraph examples are given and in the answer choice example is given, so do try to eliminate that option, because in summary we do not give importance to examples. Look for the author's tone and purpose. Yet again, बच्चे यही पूछते हैं वापस से question कि ma'am, there have not been any direct questions on tone, but in 2024 there were 2 questions on tone. और tone इसलिए important नहीं होता that we have to answer the questions based on tone. No, tones are important because we need to understand the entire passage or the entire paragraph. और अगर आपको टोन अच्छे से समझ में आ जाएगा तो it will be easier for you to eliminate the options as well. Determine if the passage is descriptive, argumentative, critical or neutral. तो अगर आप ये देख रहे हो that the entire passage is negative, so in my answer's choice there is no scope of anything which is positive. If the tone of the entire paragraph is positive, there is no scope of any statement which is negative. Okay, so you have to see if the paragraph is negative, answer choice should be negative. Positive, it should be positive. And if it is a combination of negative and positive, then yes, my answer choice should include both the things, right? The summary should reflect the same tone and intent. Next is eliminate distortions and extreme options. Distortions is what? Which is out of the context, something which is not there in the paragraph, and anything that is not there in the paragraph and given in the answer choice. So obviously it cannot be my answer. And extreme options. Now this is something which is actually very important. Most of the options have been eliminated and can be eliminated on the basis of extreme options. For example, if in the paragraph author has given the word often, okay, and in one of the options author has given the word always. So always is what? It's an extreme word. Okay. But if always, never, then continuously, continually, primarily, majorly, these are the words which are considered extreme. तो अगर ये options ये words हमारे किसी भी option में है, तो you can easily eliminate those options. But yes, sometimes it happens that अगर वो word आपके actual paragraph में है, then definitely you can consider the option. But most of the time it doesn't happen this way. Next is beware of traps. Yes. Here, beware of traps, I mean to say, basically, here the author plays with words, attractive word trap. Okay. और यहाँ पर सबसे important चीज ये हो जाता है कि vocabulary should be good, because suppose if two words are there and they sound same but they are different in meaning, and if you do not know the meaning of those words, so normally author उन words के साथ आपसे खेल जाता है, right? So some answer choices sound similar to the paragraph but miss the central idea. If an option changes the meaning or omits an essential part, it is incorrect. So obviously he's going to play with the words, maybe with the idea of the author, with the primary purpose of the author, वो कुछ भी चीज हो सकता है. Compare the options carefully. Now here I would like to say one thing. I have seen many students, they actually bother about reaching to the right answer. And you should not do that, okay? Just do not bother about reaching to the right answer. Do try to eliminate the options. Okay, extreme word cannot be my answer. Attractive word trap cannot be my answer. Okay, out of the context cannot be my answer, but you should have certain reasoning or logic behind eliminating the answer. So once you start eliminating, obviously whatever option is left out, that is going to be your answer. तब आराम से उसको compare कीजिए, and most of the times it happens that you are able to eliminate two options very easily, but then you are left with only two options. अब उस two options में आपको compare करना है. Might be possible that two options, they are very very close to each other and it really becomes difficult for you that which option to choose, क्योंकि दोनों ही बहुत ज़्यादा appealing है, बहुत ज़्यादा close है, similar है. So what you have to do, if two options seem correct, look for precision and conciseness. तो आपको देखना है कौन सा वाला option थोड़ा सा short है in comparison to the one that we are about to leave. तो आपको concise वाला option देखना है, and that is going to be your answer. Practice with past CAT papers. Indeed, this is something really very very important. ठीक है, अभी आप practice कर सकते हो. You can practice para summary questions from many publications. But जैसे जब exams के पास आते जा रहे हैं, start practicing PYQs so that you get an idea that what kind of questions are there in the examinations. और जब आप इसको practice करते रहेंगे, solve करते रहेंगे, तो you also get the idea how to eliminate the things. So following all these techniques, you can easily solve any kind of any para summary question, and together we make it happen. Do not forget that thing. So now in this slide, I have a question for you and we are going to solve it together. You seemed at first to take no notice of your school fellows, or rather to set yourself against them because they were strangers to you. They knew as little of you as you did of them. This would have been the reason for their keeping aloof from you as well, which you would have felt as a hardship. Learn never to conceive a prejudice against others because you know nothing of them. It is bad reasoning and makes enemies of half the world. Do not think ill of them till they behave ill to you, and then strive to avoid the faults which you see in them. This will disarm their hostility sooner than pique or resentment or complaint. Okay? Now you see, first and the last line of every paragraph is actually important. So this line indeed is important, and this line is also important. And the paragraph is very easy, और ये हम सभी के साथ ऐसा होता है. Suppose this is your first day in school or maybe anywhere. आपके फ्रेंड सर्कल में आपका फर्स्ट डे है, आप उनसे अभी अभी यूनाइट कर पाए हैं, but you people do not know anything much about each other. So normally what happens, we start to judging people. Oh, he's not talking to me, she is not talking to me, maybe she is rude or she has a lot of attitude. तो ऑथर यहाँ पर हमें क्या बोलना चाह रहा है, that अगर आप किसी भी environment में हो, तो rather than judging the people, just try to understand them. Okay? और उनके आप अगेंस्ट में जाकर कोई प्रेजुडिस मत रखिए अपने मन में कि वो ऐसा क्यों है और क्या रीजन है. राइट? तो यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं, they knew as little of you as you did of them. Yes, you do not know each other. This would have been the reason for their keeping aloof from you. And because you do not know about each other, so in a way, you are not even coming together. You are going on your own path. Okay? Which you would have felt as a hardship. Learn never to conceive a prejudice against others. Obviously, हमें किसी को जज नहीं करना चाहिए, because you know nothing of them. It is bad reasoning and makes enemies of half the world. और जब इसी तरह से हम लोगों को जज करते रहते हैं, तो some way or the other, we do not become their friends, but obviously we become their enemies, or it can be vice versa, या वो आपके enemies हो जाते हैं, because आप उनको जज करने लग जाते हैं. Do not think ill of them till they behave ill to you. Okay, so here the author is saying that until somebody does wrong to you, आप उनको जज मत कीजिए, आप उनसे अच्छे से बिहेव कीजिए. ओके? उनसे साथ आप बैड बिहेवियर मत रखिए. And then strive to avoid the faults which you see in them. So if we see any faults in them, we should not have certain peak in our mind, resentment, anger, or complaint. It means what you have to do, you have to deal with those people in a constructive manner rather than keeping any grudges. Okay? So now you see, we have the 4 options, and let us eliminate. Okay? So I have to pick only that option that encapsulates the paragraph. The discomfort you felt with your school fellows was because both sides knew little of each other. This is correct. Here the little means negligible. Okay? You should not complain unless you find others prejudice against you. Now you see, beta, the moment I have read this particular statement, I have come across this word complain. Okay? तो जब तक आप दूसरों में कुछ भी ill behavior नहीं देखते, आप complain मत कीजिए. But the author is not saying this thing. Author is saying that if you see any bad behavior in them, you should try hard to avoid the faults and deal with that person in a constructive way, right? तो वो complain करने की बात नहीं बोल रहा है. Therefore, this can be eliminated, right? The discomfort you felt with your school fellows was because both sides knew little of each other. Okay, this is correct. Avoid prejudice and negative thoughts till you encounter bad behavior from others. Okay, it is right. And then win them over by shunning the faults you have observed. So far I can see that this option is very neat and very clean. It is going with the flow of the passage. So I'm going to keep it aside, but then I have C also, D also. So let us eliminate them. If we have certain things to eliminate them, then obviously I'm going to left with B, and B is going to be my answer. But as of now, I cannot say anything because first I'm going to check out these 2 options as well. You encountered hardship amongst your school fellows because you did not know them well. You should learn to make enemies because of your prejudice. You should learn to not make enemies because of your prejudices, irrespective of their behavior towards you. Beta, irrespective of their behavior, means it can be bad behavior, it can be good behavior, but the author is talking about the bad behavior. Okay, so obviously it is wrong. You encountered hardship amongst your school fellows because you did not know them well. You should learn to not make enemies because of your prejudices unless they behave badly with you. अब यहाँ पर आपको क्या लग रहा है? अब देखो, you encounter hardship amongst your school fellows because you did not know them well. You should learn to not make enemies because of your prejudice unless they behave badly with you. So I think this is also correct and this is also, B is also correct. But अगर हम बात करेंगे तो यहाँ पर it is encapsulating each and everything. Okay, and he's also talking about shunning the faults, how to deal with the things. But in this paragraph, I can easily see that this particular option, it is not telling us how to deal with those kind of people. Okay, so it is missing one point, it is incomplete, therefore I am going to go for B as the right answer. I hope this paragraph and how we eliminated the things are very much clear to you. Yes, let us move on to the next thing. Should the moral obligation to rescue and aid persons in grave peril felt by a few be enforced by the criminal law? Question mark is there. Should we follow the lead of a number of European countries and enact bad Samaritan laws? Again, question mark is there. Proponents of bad Samaritan laws must overcome at least 3 different sorts of obstacles. Now he has given us 3 different sorts of obstacles. First, second, and third. Now, what does first say? They must show the laws are morally legitimate in principle, that is, that the duty to aid others is a proper candidate for legal enforcement. Second, they must show that this duty to aid can be defined in a way that can be fairly enforced by the courts. Third, they must show that the benefits of the laws are worth their problems, risk and cost. अब इस पूरे पैराग्राफ को हम कैसे बाइफरकेट कर सकते हैं या कैसे इसको हम 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. फर्स्ट 2 sentences आर बेसिकली क्वेश्चंस. सो व्हाट डज द ऑथर ट्राई टू से ओवर हियर? वो क्या करने की कोशिश करता है यहाँ पर? बेसिकली इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द बैड सैमरिटन लॉज. अब बेटा बैड सैमरिटन लॉज क्या होते हैं? बेसिकली 2 टाइप्स ऑफ सैमरिटन लॉज आर देयर, गुड एंड बैड. गुड जो सैमरिटन लॉज होते हैं वो हम हमारी मर्जी से लोगों को हेल्प करते हैं, बट बैड सैमरिटन लॉज वो होते हैं जो हम पर इम्पोज करते हैं. इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ लीगल ड्यूटी टू हेल्प द पीपल हु आर इन ग्रेव peril, those who are in grave danger, right? So basically it's talking about the bad Samaritan laws, or it's a kind of legal duty to legal duty on the people to ask them to help other people who are in need or who are in danger, right? And in the last 4 sentences, he is talking about 3 different sorts of obstacles which are there. So first is what? Moral legitimacy. I can say first is moral legitimacy. Second is legal enforcement. And third is cost benefit analysis. Okay, so we have to overcome these obstacles first and thereafter we can talk about these things. So now let us eliminate the option. Everyone agrees. Now everyone, it's an extreme word. I can easily eliminate this option. Okay, a number of European countries that have successfully enacted bad Samaritan laws may serve as model statutes. Beta, here you can see a number of European countries. European countries is only given as the example, and as I taught you the techniques of solving para summary, I told you that if example is given in the option, that can be easily eliminated. Again, this can be eliminated, right? If bad Samaritan laws are found to be legally sound and enforceable, they must be enacted. Must is something that I say it's a kind of red flag as of now, because must में there is a force और इनैक्ट हो ही जाना चाहिए. बट अभी तो हमारे सामने ऑब्स्टिकल्स हैं, ऑब्स्टिकल्स को हम ओवरकम करेंगे, उसके बाद ही वी कैन थिंक ऑफ सम इनैक्टमेंट्स, राइट? बैड सैमरिटन लॉज मे बी डिजायरेबल, करेक्ट, but they need to be tested for legal soundness. So I think it is something, must is basically an extreme word also, and it's a kind of force. But यहाँ पर हम force की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. So again, I can eliminate option C, and I am left with D. So D is the best summary of this particular paragraph. I hope you have understood the entire thing. Keep practicing, keep solving such questions, and together we make it happen. Thank you so much.